Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Good Doctors YouTube channel and our coverage of the amazing show Glow.
Hello.
My name is Dr. Kristen.
I am Dr. Erin.
And if this is the first time we're meeting you, welcome.
Welcome.
We really like to talk about pieces of media that tell fun stories about anything that we don't normally hear stories about.
or not so fun if you're a fan of our Handmaid's Tale coverage.
True statement. And by fun, I mean sarcastically, like a dystopian nightmare upon which we might all one day wake up.
I have to quote one of our regular Handmaid's Tale subscribers who watched our Glow video and said, you know, it's really nice to watch you guys reviewing something that isn't just a slog through gorgeously shot distilled human misery for a change, which was such an iconic line.
Yeah.
I immediately sent it to Dr. Kristen and we howled.
Oh my God, it was such a mood. Like, that is the mood.
Yeah, I was just like, yes. We are so excited to not be talking about a show that is a slog through distilled human misery.
Yeah, and we got a couple more weeks before we go to another kind of human misery, which will be The Crown.
Yes, slightly different.
Yeah, but Lizzie's got some stuff coming up, and they put Olivia Colman in some truly terrible hats, but we'll get there in a couple months. So today we're talking about the second half of the first season of Glow, which is, again, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, a Netflix streaming show that stars Alison Brie and Mark Maron, and a host of other people who I hope become household names soon.
Because they're amazing. We love them all.
But they're the ones that were the household names going in, as it were. And Rich Sommer from Mad Men is a supporting actor in this as well. And some other assorted folks. Piz from Veronica Mars.
I was about to say, you will recognize some people from some other things.
Yeah, it's a lot of, hey, it's that guys.
Yeah. I just keep my IMDb app open when I'm watching the episodes because I'm like, who is that person? What have I seen them in?
But also lots and lots of fresh faces that we've not gotten to see before, because the entire point of this show is like a found family on the island of misfit toys.
Yes.
Which, if we were going to like kind of summarize my personal brand of my favorite stories, it is that.
Yes.
People who find family when they are on the island of misfit toys.
Yes. Yeah.
Happily ever after, and maybe some singing, and like, it is so Kristen brand, I will explode.
That's very true. That's very true. I think the only thing that is lacking in this show for you is singing.
Yeah.
I the 80s music for me. I was a child of the 80s, and like when the 80s became cool again in the 90s, when I was in high school, my friends and I were like obsessed with all the John Hughes films before I awoke to the fact that they're super problematic. But
all our faves are problematic.
All our faves are problematic, but the music is fantastic. So like, I just absolutely, it's so much fun to watch every episode. Yeah.
And I am also a child of the 80s, in case somebody was doing the math in their brain. I was raised on Broadway original cast recordings. So we just had
this level of pop music.
Different childhoods. Yeah.
Around the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah. So I have lived a lot of different lives.
So anyway, we ramble on.
In terms of Glow, you know, we're not really going to talk a whole heck of a lot about plots necessarily in these Glow recaps, because clearly in 5 episodes a whole lot of plot happens.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing our more thematic overviews like we do at the end of seasons in the past. So for me, the back half of this particular season was really about the coagulation of that found family.
Yeah.
And also why I need to double check if Alison Brie was ever in the Emmy conversation for this season, because her work in the episode where her character terminates her pregnancy is incredible.
Yeah.
It's really good. I've always been an Alison Brie fan, both with her slightly dramatic Stepford Wivesiness on Mad Men, but also her role on Community, which is the first season of Community is still one of my favorite seasons of television. It gets a little off the rails after that, but I was really impressed I felt like that is not my story, but is the story of many of my friends and colleagues. And when I have listened to them talk about that process, first of all, let's have a minute for that pregnancy test.
What was that? I was like, is that how things?
Yeah, I Googled.
There was like 45 minutes.
45 minutes, and also a whole lot of test tubes.
Lots of test tubes and like lots of inaccuracies, I would imagine, with that.
I can only
I'm
like
looking down because I'm scrolling. SAG Award, she's been nominated for Glow.
okay, good.
And Golden Globes, not Emmys.
Not Emmys. Okay. I'll do some digging and see if she was in the conversation at least. If somebody said she should have one for that season, because I think she does some really great work. But the beautiful thing right now with streaming is that there is so many great roles for so many women. It wouldn't surprise me. Like we're in an embarrassment of riches these days.
Yeah, and like this season for the Emmys, they've just given all of the actress nods and drama to like Game of Thrones because it's ending. So like sometime it could have been a weird cycle where like
where something like choked it up. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Veep gets a lot of nominations, probably deservedly. I've never seen it, but I feel like Veep kind of dominates the category for. I'm trying to think of comedies.
Yeah, but I think it's also like I don't remember where Netflix was in its emerging domination because they're like I don't remember like because their big like their big like breakout at the Emmys was Orange is the New Black.
Right.
And so I don't know, but like then Emmys got a little tired of them. This is insider baseball knowledge none of you care about. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, I was about to say we're digressing here.
Rabbit trailing. So found family, but also I felt really intimately that this season, that those 5 episodes were written, directed, acted, produced by women who had a cornucopia of experiences that they could bring to the table. And so we got to know Sheila better. We got to see a little bit of the dynamic of the internal struggle Cherry has in terms of what her professional versus personal. Lots of time with Debbie, who continues to be the character I'm most fascinated by that I do not want to spend any time with in real life.
She's very much the, she reminds me a lot of Yvonne Strahovski as Serena.
Yeah.
Serena's like straight up evil, and I'm not saying that Debbie is at all, but like, I don't like Debbie as a person, but I love her as a character.
And I don't even necessarily blame her for some of her choices. I have no idea how I would look at Ruth if that was my story.
Right.
It's just like in terms, like I would 100%. I want to get to know everybody else. Debbie is a little someone I'm not sure I want to hang with. However, when I see what they did in the finale, where she's going to go in seasons 2 and 3, I'm really excited for.
Yeah. And like, I think they did some, like, I think they're going to do more of an Orange is the New Black. I've seen the second season, full disclosure, but I don't remember exactly what happens. We got to see a bit more with Carmen and her family, which was really great. Carmen's dad showing up to the wrestling match. Big heart for that man. That was so wonderful that he was like, you could do this. I was like, oh, supporting people.
When Carmen wins and Piz loses his mind.
Yeah, so cute.
I had to like pause and giggle because I was like, that is friendship. That like his whole scene with when he was mad at the ambulance driver.
Yeah. It continues to be the little things that happen in this episode or in this season that they do really, really well. Yeah. And so like even Tammy's character as welfare queen, like dealing with kind of not wanting to be typecast as this, as what we all know was a horrible stereotype.
That was completely made up by President Reagan. Yeah.
Made up by President Reagan. Yeah. And so like she plays into it eventually, but like the whole episode where her and Cherry decide to like fight, convince the women who play the old biddies to dress up in Klan outfits has to be absolutely one of the most hilarious parts of this first season. And really, like well done as well, like topical, especially now with white supremacy, but always, because white supremacy is always there. But even
the lines that Mark Maron gets, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, when Sam says, maybe you're never too young to know about this country's racial history. Like,
wow, the white supremacists are having a bad day.
Him and like, yes. Absolutely just having to improvise announcing that match was fire. But even the little things we get about Debbie that we were talking about offline that I think show, because people might not understand what we mean when it's evident that the show is written by women.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So one of these moments happens when Mark and Debbie it's in episode 8, and she goes over to the house and Mark's there and he's trying to convince her, like, we should try again. I'm changing. I'm seeing a therapist. And he says, they're talking about having dinner, and he says, oh, well, I'm on a diet. I've started a diet. And Debbie looks at Mark and goes, me too. I started when I was 14. And the conversation moves on, and they don't like harp back. They don't, as we said in the last video, beat you over the head with this. But what I felt watching that a second time was like every woman identifies with that, because every woman has body issues at some point in their life, body image issues, weight issues, the pressure that society puts on women to be a certain shape and to look a certain way and to dress a certain way. We all feel that, and we all know it. And it wasn't a huge moment in the show. It wasn't the, feel good after school special moment, but it was just, we see you. Like, I felt like whoever wrote that or directed that was just like, this is what it's like. Oh yeah, me too.
Lived in moment. Like, it was even like the kind of the casualness with this show. Like, I mean, I don't know another show that talks about period sex. Like,
yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. And it just like
the normalization of the female experience.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And also something I thought of too, reflexively thinking back, they assume a level of intelligence or a level of awareness.
Yeah.
Of their audience.
Yep. So
they don't unpack this. They don't explain it. They don't tell you exactly what's happening at the time. They just assume that you're in on the joke, or that you understand what they're talking about. And I think the other really important thing that happened in this, that I think kind of speaks to a theme for the whole season in these series of episodes, was when Debbie starts to talk to Ruth about how she feels about being a wrestler. And she says, I feel like I'm back in my body, using it for me. I feel like a goddamn superhero. My body doesn't belong to my son anymore. My body doesn't belong to my husband. And I'm learning how to use it for me. And that's not a small thing at all. And like I said, as everything in the show, they don't spend a lot of time on it. But I think that's what you see these women finding power in learning how to use their bodies differently and finding themselves in terms of who they are and who they want to be and how they want to go through the world, which for ostensibly a comedy show about, fake wrestling in the 80s is some pretty heavy hitting stuff.
I was about to say, they have a real grasp on an economy of storytelling that a lot of other shows that take up our airspaces could learn from.
Oh, yes. But they reach the pinnacle at the end of these couple episodes by having their first televised show in front of an audience. And that kind of closes out the season. Bash is adorable. I think one of my favorite lines is when he's like, I brought my tuxedo.
I have been living for this moment. I mean,
you want me to announce? Yes.
He's the absolute perfect entitled rich kid who wants desperately to be better, but has never been given the tools to do it.
And also, like, we're super geeks and nerds about a lot of things, and the fact that he has been obsessed with wrestling his whole life, and this is like living out his dream.
Yeah.
And how hard he legitimately, tries to fight. He doesn't, as you're right, like, he's a very privileged, rich white man, and so he doesn't quite know how to do it. So he decides, like, one of the ways is he's gonna scam everybody at his mother's fundraiser into donating to a fake drug treatment program. Yeah. Like, that's not super on the up and up.
No, but like, I think I recognize him.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of time for people that desperately want to be better and have no idea how.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And, but just keep giving it a go.
God love Bash.
God love Bash.
Crazy hair. And then so we kind of get the culmination of they all find success with their storylines. Like, the audience is both great and awful, especially to the woman whose character is Beirut, and we get some real
delightful language,
racist bigotry and violence happening, which is not pleasant. But I think the fact that they closed with Debbie and Ruth like still not being okay, like
I love that.
they like, which is real, right? Like not everything's going to get fixed by one match or by one or by learning to be a team together because you both want to succeed at something. And that was realistic, and that also sets us up for season 2. So I think we know exactly where the show is going, or it's going to start in season 2, and have no idea where it's going to go.
And I'm essentially going to start watching season 2 as soon as I get home from work today. Can't wait.
I'm excited to rewatch it because I don't remember exactly what happens. So it's been long enough that most of this is fresh until I start seeing it. And then I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how both of us watch shows. Like we remember how it makes us feel, and we remember meta narratives.
Yeah.
But it has to be something very specific for us to remember details.
Yes. Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of many of our viewers who are aware.
Sorry, not sorry. If you're here for detailed recaps.
No, we're of the my favorite murder end of detail accuracy, which is just a whole lot of, we're sorry we missed that. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's all I've got for
Oh yeah, me too. That's it. I just wanted to squee a lot, and I will be thinking about the moment where Mark Maron tells Planned Parenthood that he is Allison Brie's husband. I'll be thinking about that moment for a little while.
Yeah, and again, it's a little thing. It's a small thing, but it's a big thing.
Yep.
And you understand who he is as a person real quick.
Yep.
That statement. And you understand what that meant to a very, very lonely, lost, scared woman. Like the fact that she has built this whole family, but still felt like she couldn't tell any of them she was pregnant, is not a small thing either. And that's what a lot of women go through, especially when they're going to have an abortion as well.
Yeah. At times of crisis, lots and lots of people go in on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see the picture of somebody chasing that into themselves, yeah, I could go on, but I won't. So that's it for us for now. We'll see you guys next time when we hop into season 2, covering episodes 1 through 5 of season 2. But in the meantime, I'm Dr. Kristen.
I'm Dr. Erin.
We're the Good Doctors of Abbey Research, and we wish you a very glow-tastic week. Bye.
Take care.